$50 ALDI challenge to feed a family of 4 for 7 nights. Challenge accepted. So this challenge actually runs off the back of the first ALDI challenge that I did, which was feed my family of 4 for under $100 for a week, and I actually did it for $90, so I will link that video below. So this video backs onto that because we had some leftovers, so that helped us through. Full transparency, this video for the prices was recorded in December 2022 because, like I said, it was running off the back of that challenge, and then I completely forgot that the footage was in my phone as I was clearing it all out, so I've decided to pull it all together for you guys and upload it. So let's go shopping, see what we grab, and I'll show you how I'm going to put everything together. So like I said, you'll recognize some of the prices that are a bit cheaper. So first of all, we're going to grab some carrots, and I had already been shopping at Woolworths for some other items to do a different food challenge. So I was shopping everything in one day, but I'll show you all the receipts and stuff at the end. So we're going to grab some chicken. I just grabbed pretty much the first pack that I found. That will get broken up. I have sweet potato at home, so I will include that with the pricing when I'm working out the costing. I had to use up what I had at home first, so that's where you'll see me film some things, but they'll appear on the bench completely different. So I was going to grab some pumpkin, but the whole one I thought was just going to be a little bit too heavy, so at least this pumpkin was pre-cut up, which was much better for the weight. I'm just going to grab one zucchini. I'm so glad that I can buy a single one here. And I'm going to grab some beef and pork mince. When this is incorporated into something, it's not too bad as long as it's not a pork mince on its own. Going to grab some garlic bread and also a tub of cream because we'll need that. Also gonna grab a packet of spaghetti and also a packet of spiral pasta. And then I actually did grab 2 tins of tomatoes, but I think that because I was so busy at home, I used them for something else. So when you see the whole haul on the table, they're not there, but I have included it in the pricing. So yeah, some of this was just a little bit hickledy-pickledy, what can I say? So you're going to grab this sauce for the chicken, it's one of our favorites, and going to grab some fish, gonna get some chicken nuggets. Also, I had to pick up a packet of corn. We still have half a packet left from the original challenge, but I just needed some for the house, so I grabbed some more here. But I'm using what we've left over. Also going to grab a tin of tuna. Right, let's go home, let's check out the haul, and I'll talk to you about what I have and how it's all going to work. So here is everything we have here, and we cooked for a couple of days and had a couple of days off, and it was just like Christmas was here, and so it was all just completely crazy. So I'll talk through everything as we go. So I do have 6 eggs because we had them left over from a previous challenge, and so I've just put them there. We had a spare egg from somewhere, it was still there by the end of the challenge. We've got 500 grams of sweet potato. I had that in the cupboard and I really wanted to use it up, so I've just grabbed it for now out of there, and I'll rebuy some more. I've got the bag of carrots, and then underneath is just the 2 spare ones that we had left over from the previous challenge. So I've grouped all of those together. I've got the jar of the honey chicken sauce there ready for a meal. I've just thrown the whole bag of corn kernels here because apparently by the time I got around to filming this, I couldn't find where the other half of bag had gone, and if you guys have seen my freezer, you'll totally understand. I don't know where anything is. So I've just thrown that there. We only used about a quarter of the bag again anyway, so it's there for a good visual. We have the bag of potatoes that was left over from the previous challenge. We have the rice up the back again, which was left over from the previous challenge. We have the chicken that's here, was over 1 kilo, so I divided up to be even 3 meals. Ended up cooking one of them as in the water to blanch it so I could mix it up for a quiche that's coming, and then the other bits of chicken I cooked up pretty quickly and it got thrown in the freezer by the time I could get around to filming a proper meal. The pumpkin I had cut up and thrown in the freezer straight away because sometimes I noticed that the veg doesn't last as long, so I wanted to make sure that I preserved that. And here I have 4 chicken burgers, again from my freezer, because I knew that I had them and I didn't have the space to buy any more, and I forgot to actually grab them in store because I hadn't quite figured out the meal plan when I was there, but I knew that I did want that in the meal plan, so I've just thrown it there. I've got the packet of spaghetti that is here, and of course we've got the zucchini that will be going in the quiche. We've got the mincemeat that is here. We've talked about the chicken. We've got the spiral pasta here, we've got the cream, we've got the tuna. Now we've got the pineapple here because I had it in the cupboard and we much prefer the Coles pineapple to the ALDI one. So that's what I've grabbed, but I've used the price from ALDI, and also a packet of garlic bread that will go as a side. And as I probably mentioned, I completely forgot to put the 2 cans of the chopped / diced tomatoes. So they have been included. They're just not physically in front of you right now. All right, let's get cooking. Meal number 1, we are doing spaghetti bolognese. I cooked the whole packet of spaghetti because I figured it's better to bulk up with spaghetti, and my son had a massive bowl of spaghetti with just a little bit of cheese sprinkled on top. Yes, I borrowed some cheese out of the freezer, so be it. And a side of garlic bread as well, which my son absolutely loves, and there was leftovers. Look at that. So enough for nearly 2 people to have a smaller size with something else, or something for leftover for lunch for someone else. The next night, hubby and I have had fish, chips and veggies. He likes 2 pieces of fish. I just have 1. So technically this would make 2 different meals, and my son and my daughter have just had chicken nuggets, chips and veg because they're not a fan of fish. The next night we are making tuna patties, or when I grew up it was called mock fish, and it is just shredded potato thrown in with the can of tuna, an egg, a little bit of flour to bind it all together, and it gets cooked in a pan with a little bit of oil like a hash brown. Or I throw in some frozen corn as well, and yeah, it's very filling and very cheap. The next night I am making a chicken casserole, so I cut up one of the breast fillets into some chunks, and then I've just browned those off a little bit, got a bit distracted. Then I just add in the water just to kind of help soften it and break it up a little bit. I just put in a little bit of dash of vegetable stock, and I've thrown in there the carrots, the pumpkin and the sweet potato, and then I've put in there half a bag of the spiral pasta. I cooked it all for another half an hour, and yeah, it was absolutely beautiful. I made this on the same night as another dish, so I just ended up putting it in the fridge to have the next night, so the meal was ready. But yeah, it was pretty easy and pretty yum as well. And that made a massive 8 serves as well. It was huge. Next, we're going to make a crustless quiche. So I break 6 eggs into the container. I make everything in the actual container that I'm going to cook with, so it saves on dishes. And then I put in the cream. I mix it all together. And then I put in there a good sprinkling of flour. It's probably about half a cup of flour. I mix it all together, as well as the shredded zucchini, and then I throw in the corn and I throw in the shredded chicken. I had some shredded carrot from before, from a packet, and I wanted to use it up, so I've just thrown that in there. Otherwise I would have shredded my own carrot. So for full transparency, here's one I prepared earlier. It's life, it's what happens. But yeah, either or, I would have used the carrot myself. while that's cooking, I'm going to prepare my son's dinner because he's not really a fan of quiche. So he's just going to have carrots and corn, and I'm going to make him some chips, and he'll have chicken nuggets as well. So here is chicken nuggets, chips and veg, and here is the quiche all cooked. It's beautiful golden brown, and it makes 4 generous servings, and I paired it with some homemade chips on the side as well. And yeah, there was 3 servings for tonight's dinner, and then 1 left over that my daughters had while my hubby and I had some fish on another night. Next up, we're going to be cooking the mince, and we're going to be making 2 meals out of it because we will add in some carrot and corn and stretch it out. So we added in the other tin of tomatoes, and then we're going to chop up some carrots. The first carrot here I'm chopping was for my son's dinner, and then the rest I just chopped into tiny little cubes. And then we're going to peel some potatoes because we're going to have mashed potato. The first meal we're going to be having is an upside down shepherd's pie because I ran out of time to cook the top and get a really crispy top in the oven, so I just put down a bed of mashed potato, and we had the mincemeat and veg on top. And then the second meal we're going to make is a lasagna. As I'm putting the lasagna together, I realized that I have no idea where the lasagna sheets came from. I think I was just on autopilot and went, oh, I'm making lasagna, let's grab them out. The sheets are originally from ALDI, but I didn't purchase them in this haul, and the previous haul I didn't either. So I'm not sure. I think I did a different challenge and I got some, and they were just sitting there in a side box. That's my meal challenge box. So I grabbed them out going, oh, they're leftovers. So I'm not going to include it in the price because I would have technically just cooked the other half a bag of spiral pasta and used that in between as like pasta layers. So it's all going to balance out in the wash, as they say. This lasagna makes 3 massive, generous serves. I could cut smaller serves if I wanted to, and also sometimes the lasagna is best made the night before because it does tend to fall apart, and it would fall apart even more if I'd used the spiral pasta as the in-between layers as well. I probably would have actually cooked the spiral pasta as well to put in between just to help speed up with the cooking process. The next night we have had the honey mustard chicken with rice, which is a family favorite. We make it all the time. And then the last meal we have here is chicken parmesanas with pineapple and some cheese. Don't ask me where the cheese come from. It's one of those magical things that just appears, a bit like the milk that we've used out of the fridge. But, you know, as they say, you can use a little bit of stuff that's in your house. We've done it with a side of chips and veg, and everyone in the family eats this, so it's really good. Okay, so here is the best receipt that you're going to get. I've lost the original, but I have worked out what all the costing was. As you can see there, the pumpkin, I did put down the full price, but we only used half of it. So if you were working out the actual cost of use, the same with the pineapple down at the bottom. So I've put everything there, and also using the things that we had left over from last time. So the total was $51.10. So I am a little bit over budget, but if you look at the costings of only what I've used, I'm under $50. Here is the actual meals that we have broken down. So you can see there we actually have the 9 whole meals on the side, but 10 meals including the chicken nuggets. If you want to get fancy and say chicken nuggets and mashed potato as one meal, and then chicken nuggets and chips is a different meal, well, that's 11 meals. Either way, it works out to be 42 serves that I've been able to feed my family over 9 nights of dinner. And as I said, we've also got leftovers, so that would easily extend out to another 2 nights. So super happy with this challenge, as we eat very basic because we have a lot of sensory and texture needs in this house. So I hope you really enjoyed watching this. Thanks you so much for your time, and I look forward to seeing you next time.